Oh, my mic was on. Oh, thank you, Saul. Like, yeah. You saw the thing before, but all right. Like.
Yeah. Now we need to hear it.
Yeah. So he gave that to me at Manifest. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I got this laying around. Here, have it." I'm like, "Thank you."
I didn't know that Saul was in Perth. Like at the moment.
The what?
I didn't even know that Saul was in Perth at the moment.
Oh, this was Manifest last year, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
When he threw the festival out in York.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah.
I thought he went to
he was at
Bali.
Blossom? Oh, I thought he was in Bali as well, but maybe... anyway, all right, no, this is all about Kayty, all right? Okay, so thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you for having me. I was just saying, I can't believe it's been 2 years.
Yeah,
it feels like
flies.
yesterday. Yeah.
Because were you on that board or... You're on.
I'm not on either of them.
Oh no, yeah, because you're the one that didn't sign by
Yeah.
accident. Yeah, because we
Yeah,
got
I'm
way
not
too
either.
drunk. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, because like the recap, if anyone hasn't watched the old episode, we finished like 3 bottles of wine
Yeah,
from memory.
So, yeah, I'm brought my own water today.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going down
Yeah.
that road again.
Just had a busy weekend, just like normal, right? So,
Yeah.
so this is episode
135.
135. So
Far out.
yeah, so it's getting up there.
Yeah.
So how's things? How have you been? How's everything? How's life?
Good. Everything is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so busy at the moment, so booked and blessed, which is so amazing. It's a really good problem to have.
Mm-hmm. Boy, it is 100% because money's coming in. You're working. You're DJing. You're partying.
Yeah,
Right?
it's going really, really well. It's so wild because I watched the podcast that we did 2 years ago yesterday, and it was just as like what was Barcella at the time and is now Starfies.
Yeah.
It was like just launching, and now we're in our 3rd year, which is amazing. So just dealing with that, and like I think we're like a month out now. So
Really,
it's
it's
like,
that close.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Wow.
Halloween, so Monday the 31st of October. So
It's on a Monday as well. I mean, for hospitality.
Hospitality.
So yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
How like ticket sales and everything? Is it sold out
really,
yet?
really, really well. No, so it's not sold out. We're on our 2nd release. So we're doing, this year we did like 1st, 2nd, and doing final release.
Yep.
So first release sold out pretty quickly. And then we've also, I think we've allocated extra space, or like this is like the first year where we haven't had like restrictions,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
like
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like
lockdowns
with
and all
like
the other
lockdowns and
stuff.
COVID and everything.
Yeah.
So this is the first year that we can really go like balls to the wall. So we've got more tickets available. So
Mm-hmm.
and we've got Murray, the original Red Wiggle,
Yeah, I
doing a
know.
DJ set.
Pull him
so
up. And he's doing a DJ set
DJ
as
set.
well.
It's his first DJ set.
Really?
So he's headlining a festival in Melbourne. And I saw it advertised, and I just messaged like the management straight away, and I was just like, is he available? Like, lock it in. So I'm so excited. And he's like the first time that he's coming like to Perth, like as just like Murray
DJ,
solo.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's gonna be really, really good.
Yeah, because he came not too long ago, right?
Not too long ago
Yeah,
for
in
like
the
that.
band.
I
Yeah.
think it was like the adults Wiggles
Yeah.
concert.
And that was like I think it was like HBO, not H. It was at the arena.
It was,
or,
yeah, whatever arena is down the road from Magnet House.
That's
it was
that one. Yeah, the big blue one. Yeah.
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 But still, his first DJ set. So I
Yeah.
wonder what he's going to play. Like,
I'm
will he
so
play?
excited.
What do you know if he's going to play like Wiggle songs? Or
I would say he'll definitely have some remixes. But yeah,
I want to hear those
I just-
remixes of Wiggles. That
I
sounds
just can't
amazing.
wait. Yeah, I think he's going to be so entertaining. So I'm like, yeah, super excited.
What time
for it.
slot have you got him on? Like midnight or?
I think it's midnight or 11. One
Okay.
of the two, whatever is the peak time slot.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Because I mean, it's the Red
Yeah.
Wiggle. So
Yeah.
so because what time does Barcella start?
So the night runs in 2 aspects. So you've got the WA Bar Awards, which is from 6 till 9 in Magnet House.
Yep.
And then you've got Starfies now, which starts at 8 p.m, but it goes across Magnet House, Edison, and Amplifier.
Yep.
So every room just gradually opens. So while the Bar Awards are still going on in Magnet House, you've got Amplifier and Edison, and they're like slowly opening.
Do you have any like silent discos or anything like that available as well,
this
or like
year?
what's what other attractions have you got there?
So the way that the night runs is basically it's a night by hospitality for hospitality. So we have Habitat taking over the Edison.
Okay.
We have Connections and the Court taking over Amplifier,
And so that's just their DJs.
DJs,
Yeah.
and then we've got like, so for the Court and Connie's takeover, we've got drag queens as well.
Sweet, okay.
And we've got Lab 6 are on board this year, so they're taking over the courtyard of Amplifier, so that'll be really exciting. We've got like a mental health chill out zone.
Really? Where would that be?
So at the moment it's in the Mez. I'm not 100% sure.
The Mez?
Mezzanine. So I'm not 100%
upstairs,
sure. Yeah,
yeah.
in the
Okay.
back room.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure yet if we've got the alleyway, because I know we it just depends on licensing for the
Yeah.
night, if we can use it or not.
That's it. It can be such a headache sometimes trying to because you know how they do the laneway parties and they do
Yeah.
the street block parties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
you imagine trying to get council approval and all sorts of stuff, like
Yeah.
so much paperwork.
Yeah, thank God that Magnet House are on it. So, and they're a pretty good venue to work with in terms of things like that. And
Yeah.
being a promoter, it's like one less headache. So it's amazing. So yeah, the night runs like that. So it's kind of like no matter what aspect of hospitality you're from, you've got like everything is kind of covered. So then we've got like our like funny awards, not awards night aspect that happens throughout later in the night. That's hosted by Faye Rochus. You've got Mike Mayhem, who is
Mike Mayhem, Faye Rochus.
so Faye Rochus is hosting the Staffies aspect of the night,
Okay.
and then Mike Mayhem is hosting the WA Bar Awards.
Okay, so can we pull up Faye Rochus? Like,
Yeah.
is she on Facebook or?
Faye is on Instagram mainly, I think.
Okay. Well, we can pull her up on Instagram.
Yeah.
How do you spell her name?
So Faye and then Rochus. Yeah.
So Fay.
F-A-Y.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I found it.
And then Rocious.
R-O-C-I-O-U-S.
Rocious.
Yes, that
Oh,
is
there you go.
the Faye Rochus.
Well, shout out to Faye.
Shout out to Faye. So Faye is the, I would say, like lead drag queen at the Court Hotel.
Really? Okay.
So Faye, Donna Kebab, and Cougar Morrison are the Drag Factory and Friday Night go-to drag performers for the Court Hotel. So Faye is hosting this year. This is her second year, I think, hosting.
Okay.
I think second year hosting Barcella Staffies.
Yep.
And then we've got Mike Mayhem is hosting the WA Bar Awards, and Mike Mayhem is currently in Suzical the Musical and
Suzical the
is
Musical?
the Cat in the Hat.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what role is he in Cat in the Hat?
He's Cat in the Hat.
Oh, he's Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Mike comes from like rock band background. He is also one of the hosts at the Voodoo Lounge. So yeah, super talented, and what we have planned is just so funny. I cannot wait for everybody to see it. Like,
How much tickets and like the whole lot?
tickets start at $40 or $45, I think it is. Then second release is $55, I think. Third release is $65, and then there's obviously discount codes.
Yeah.
So the night is obviously focused around hospitality workers. It kind of started off as like our New Year's Eve almost. So we obviously all work on New Year's Eve, and we obviously all work when most people are going out with their friends and
That's
spending time
it.
with their families.
Yeah.
So it's really like a night of nights to come together and just like celebrate and like, yeah,
Just get
for us
loose.
to be on the
Yeah.
other side of the bar essentially. So yeah, it should be really good. I'm really excited.
No, it sounds like it'll be quite a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So with the awards, so like what awards have you got available? Like,
So there's two aspects of the night. So we've got WA Bar Awards, which is like best bartender, venue management, cocktail bar, like beer focused venue, like those kinds of like industry related
Yeah.
awards. And then that is all done on like a peer vote. So basically the voting system is open for 6 weeks, where we encourage on every social media platform we have, and all the social media platforms that we've had over the last 3 years, to like basically put in your nominations for what venues you feel should be put forward.
Yeah.
And then from that, the finalists are announced. I think there's 20 awards, I think, roughly.
so that's all right though, because it's a decent amount. So
It's a decent, like,
yeah, because it's not just 3 or 5 or something like that. They're having
It's
20. Like,
yeah, so yeah, that aspect of the night goes for like 3 hours. So that is like, yeah, decent amount of awards there. But again, aimed to kind of cater for all of that element of hospitality. So that real like, if you're like a career bartender,
Yeah.
that would be your jam. And then from there, the finalists are announced, and then they are then voted on like a private panel that is like made up of like career hospitality workers. I think the like criteria to be on the panel was like that you had to have been like working in hospitality for like a minimum of like 10 years. So
Yeah, okay.
it's like really like the who's who of hospitality kind of like gets behind it and then votes. And then on the night, then it'll obviously be announced, and
Yeah.
everybody like gets to like kind of like accept the award in front of their peers and everyone who's like voted for them, and just like get a kind of like a night of like praise by everybody who like was there and like voted for them.
Is it kind of like a Grammy award in a way? So it's like someone will be
guess
sitting
for, like-
there with the microphone, and then like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
and then like, you know, you've got the envelope, and just open the envelope, pull it out,
Yeah,
so and so
with
come
that-
up. Like,
Yeah, pretty similar. And definitely like, because we don't really have that many kind of like award systems for like what we do. And Ben Tua, who I have staffies and the WA Bar Awards with, and I kind of like noticed that, and we were like, okay, let's like, what can we do to put together and like just basically like give back to the community. Our event started the year that COVID struck, and we were all like
Yeah.
really hit by COVID, and
Of course,
especially
yeah.
when it was in the time when we were like, what like, will hospitality ever open again? And everyone was kind of like, far out, has like all of this been for nothing?
That's
Like,
it,
will we
yeah.
ever go to a nightclub again and all that?
exactly, yeah.
So yeah, the backing was kind of just like to give back to the community, and we wanted to like really give back to those people who like really did deserve it and had made a career out of this. Then we've got our Staffies Awards, which is like the prize is a goon box, and it started out as like more of a joke. So it was like, I think
So,
it was like
Just quickly as well. So if you got the Goonback Box Award, then what was the other award for the others?
the other ones, it's I think it's a like a plaque, I think.
Okay. Do you still, like with the Goonbox Award, do you still get a plaque as well?
You get a goon box.
You get a goon box.
You get a goon box, and you get some street credit. So yeah, the Green Box one started off as like more of a like spoof. So it was like second hottest DJ. I think there was like club most likely to be raided.
Okay. Yeah.
Like internet troll, that kind of stuff. So it was like really like more of a like funny aspect. The feedback that we've gotten over the years is like, can we have like more of a like serious side to it, like still be funny but like just more serious? So like this year it's the first time where it's like best DJ, best photographer, best nightclub, best
Yeah.
drag queen, best stripper, best comedian. So we're really like aiming for everybody.
Okay.
But
And so it incorporates things like Voodoo Lounge as well. And yeah. Okay. So everything.
That's
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Like we really wanted the event to like, if you're in hospitality, it does not matter what aspect of you're
Yeah.
in hospitality. There's like an award for like best security guard, best store staff member.
Is there like a
it's for
best
everyone.
barista? Like,
We have in the WA Bar Awards aspect, you've got like best coffee
Okay.
in WA. So
that's all right then. That's pretty cool. Like,
yeah, so it's really aimed at like absolutely everybody. And then also like there's just so many different aspects of hospitality and so many different like sub communities and subcultures that we just wanted to make it as available for everyone, which is why we've got, you know, Habitat doing a room. So if you're in that kind of community, then there's something for you. If you are into commercial stuff, then you've got like the Court and the Connections room. If you're into R&B, this year we've got Lab 6 doing theirs, like doing their R&B room, which is like great because they're the next generation of
Exactly.
DJs that are going to be coming into it. So we wanted to make sure that it doesn't matter how long you've been in hospitality for, whether it's for like 1 year, 1 day, your entire lifetime. We wanted to really make sure it was for everybody.
yeah. Well, it's a good thing you're doing. It's
Thank
it's
you.
a good way of like, you know, being able to just to help the community out
Thank you.
and bring it all together.
Well, the first year that it came through was sadly the year that everything happened with PEP and with Paramount.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you meant with COVID though, but yeah.
Yeah, so
Because that was shocking. That was
devastating, but it's so like out of such a horrendous and awful thing today. I don't know if you saw, Mark McGowan came forward and said that they're from everything that they did from the result of like such a tragedy, and coming up with Coward's Collar and everything that they did for that's now
Collar?
been approved. So it just incorporates safety in every like entertainment district so that people who do things like One Punch or like random attacks and stuff will be held
accountable.
Yeah,
good.
And it just came forward today that's all like been approved. So it's like such an amazing thing.
Yeah, because it's just like I was discussing this actually with my boss whilst I was up north last week, where, you know, one of the reasons why I love doing this, right, is because it's like, you know, when I get you know, it's talking about the safety aspect of like, you know, if you're a DJ and you're a girl and you're walking home, the amount of times you get wolf whistled or, you know, people follow you or like,
if you're a girl, you generally you don't understand what it is like unless
Yeah.
you are a female. I got
like just quickly, like the story that Savannah told me, like she's a gem, she's amazing, really cool girl, and like the story she told me about when she went to Albany, and it's like she had to like run into her car, lock the doors, and they're like filming this guy who's sitting there who's drunk as all hell, trying to open their doors. It's kind of like, what the hell's going through that guy's head? Like,
the saddest thing
just
is
grow
though,
a
that
brain and
that's
bugger
not
off.
an isolated incident. Stuff
Yeah.
like this happens every day. There is not a female that you would know in your
Yeah,
world that hasn't gone through something like that.
yeah, and it's just so unfortunate.
It's awful.
Yeah.
It was only a week ago. I was on my phone, and generally I'm pretty good with stuff like this. But I was on my phone and I was like filming a like video or something for one of my friends. And as I was filming it, a guy followed me and tried to like come into my apartment building. And I live a street away from like where I was coming from. So it was terrifying
Yeah,
to
it
me.
would have
And I just
been,
I just hadn't had paid attention. And if it wasn't for my like closing doors that like you can't get through unless you've got like a remote, I'm like so lucky that I live in like a pretty new building complex so that it has that.
It just shouldn't
If it
happen.
didn't, and that's not the first time that I've been followed home or
Yeah.
I've had far worse
but
things
like,
happen.
can you carry pepper spray? Because
I think pepper spray is illegal.
illegal. That's exactly it as well. It's like, why can't girls carry self-defense if this shit goes down? Like, it's not
terrifying.
fair.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
And it's sadly just a part of being a female in like today's day and age that you've got to have like your wits about and you've got to be wary. And like also it sucks because you've just got to really be aware and even just like how much you drink to make sure that you're like able to get home and that nothing bad can happen to you.
That's exactly it. What were you going to pull up, Damo?
Except WA. What do you
Oh.
only say?
Oh, so we can have pepper
Only
spray.
in
Oh.
WA.
There you go,
Go out
girls.
and get it.
Yeah, girls, get it, definitely. Like, it's worth it because, you know, you finish at a nightclub and some guy's harassing you. It's like, and grabs you and does this or does that. Get him, mace him. Like, safety number one kind of thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's like definitely within reason. But yeah, it can be terrifying being a female.
Yeah. So then with like Starfies,
Starfies now.
yeah, sorry, I gotta say it, Starfies coming up.
Yeah.
What else have you got going on?
I'm really lucky to be so busy at the moment, especially in my like October, November, December is hectic. So I have Oktoberfest Perth in a couple of weeks. Then I'm so excited and lucky because this is my first year that I'm actually going on like the Oktoberfest tour. So I'm doing Oktoberfest Sydney as well.
Really?
So I'm like so excited for that. Then
That packs out. Like, it's a huge
Yeah.
event. Like,
yeah, in the Domain. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Then that's like on the Saturday, then come back for Starfies on the Monday. Then I've got the Court Pride Street Party, which is
Okay.
the biggest street party that they've done yet.
Is it how? Because so being a street party, is it gonna be like a Beaufort Street festival
Yeah.
almost?
Yeah,
Wow,
so it's going
really?
to be on Beaufort Street and on James Street.
Okay.
So they are extending it this year, so it's like so exciting.
Do they have like little food vans or anything like that at all?
Yeah,
Really?
everything.
Okay.
They've got everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you not been before?
No, I've only ever been Beaufort Street Festival, but
Okay.
I worked a couple of those. So
Yeah, no. So the Court Pride Street Party is like, it's insane. It's its own little festival. It's like, yeah, truly like you're walking from like one side of the venue to the other and there's a million things happening in between. There's like so many different like stages and silent discos, and then they've got like the like oh, I can't remember what it's called. Like, you know, when you like go on, you like mount it and they like try to like buck you off.
oh yeah, the bucking bull thing.
Yeah, they've got like one of those, except being the court, it's like a penis.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you've got like all of the acts that are coming, so it's going to be amazing. It's so much fun. Then so
What date's on that on?
the 26th of November.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because is that also because what's that day? I can't remember where it's like the massive festivals around the world. It's not Pride Month, but it's Pride
Do you mean
Parade.
Mardi Gras?
Yeah, Mardi Gras. Yeah.
There's different dates for Mardi Gras and different dates for Pride, kind of
Okay.
like all over. So like, for example, Broome do their own Mardi Gras, and then they've
Okay.
got their own Pride
Yep.
festivals as well. They're on different dates to like what we have in Perth.
Okay. Yep.
Then next year as well, you've got World Pride, which is happening in Sydney in February.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got to ask as well. So you went to the Rowie, right?
Yes.
So how was that? Because
Oh
that
my
looked
gosh,
amazing.
Such an experience. So much fun.
And the opening for Havana Brown as
I
well.
know, and
right?
it's the second time I've or no, that was the first time, but now I've like opened up for it twice. Just at Liquid Candy a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, really?
But so much fun. I
Mm-hmm.
love Broome and I love Rowie, and Rowie is just such an iconic little venue. I say little, and it's massive. It's like
Mm. Yeah,
its
talking
own
to,
little festival.
Who was I was talking to someone about it, and apparently it's a massive
huge.
venue. Like,
Huge, and it's just such a vibe. Like, I just can't explain it, and I have the worst anxiety, and Broome is the only place that I can go to and not feel anxious. It's
Really?
just, you get there, it's so calming. Everybody wants to come and like see you, and everybody wants to come and hang out with you. The first time I got booked for the Rowie or from Broome was for Broome Mardi Gras.
Okay.
And I think I came up for the pre-party, which was at the Rowie, and I've never had so much fun in my life.
Really?
I had the so Lucy, who runs Broome Pride, took me on an entire tour of Broome. We went over all of like the history of everything and the history of like Mardi Gras, and like it was such a amazing educational experience.
how long have they been doing Mardi Gras up there for?
I couldn't tell you the exact amount,
But it's a good amount
but
of years, though?
Lucy and Jess run Twisted Events, which runs like Broome Pride and Mardi Gras and everything, and they've been working together for a really long time. They came like running clubs in Sydney,
Yeah. And then moved
like
to Broome
in
Paradise,
like the core,
basically.
like Sydney days of like running gay clubs and everything. Then they've eventually like found their way back to working together again. So
So Dama's just pulled it up there. So, because how is it laid out? Because by the looks of it, it's just like a massive courtyard.
yeah, so the Rowie in itself is like a couple of venues in one. So you've got Perlas, which is like the nice little like restaurant aspect of it. You've got the sports bar where like all the skimpies go, and it's like pretty known being like a skimpy venue. Then you've got outside, which is like a big courtyard, and it's got like several bars, and you've got a stage, and then they've got like on Thursday the wet tea comp, which is like such an iconic.
Yeah,
Like,
that's who I was talking to, Jake Stone, about it. Yeah, and
Yeah.
he said it's like, you know, it's been there forever.
Yeah.
And it's just the amount of encouragement, people just want to do it. They just
Yeah.
want to get involved. And it's
Yeah.
guys, girls, whatever,
Yeah.
really. So
Yeah, it's not, and like when I say wet tea, it's not just like for girls, like guys get into it as well.
That's it, yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy money. It's like $750 or something that you win
Really?
for going in the wet tea.
how do you even win that though? Just the best dance or
Best
something?
dancer, best little performance.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're entering a wet tea, you know what to do.
Yeah,
So,
that's it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Just get down and dirty, basically.
Yeah, and they love it. But it's like, it's such an iconic thing to be a part of. It's in no way seedy or like gross. It's just such a vibe.
Yeah, everyone just goes there just to have a good time,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
It's just like the lesbian mud wrestling they have on Wednesdays.
They don't do that anymore.
Oh, they don't do that anymore?
No, I'm so upset. I wish if I could, if I could do anything, it would be bring back lesbian mud wrestling at Connie's on Wednesdays. I'm not quite sure why they stopped it. I think it might have been during COVID when it was like you obviously can't get too close to people, but I
Yeah.
really hope that they bring it back one day.
Yeah, because I went there once, not knowing what to expect, and everyone was just having a great time.
Having
Like,
the best time, and it's so body positive. It's just, it's such a vibe. I
Yeah.
really hope they bring it back.
so, with all of that as well, like, how's everything else been as well? I was going to ask about, like, you know, if you're DJing every Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and it's like you're staying up stupid
And
late.
Wednesdays.
Yeah.
And then I just,
And Wednesdays as well.
sometimes Thursdays.
How is, like, you know, the mental health side of things? How is it, like, you know, the drinking kind of side of things? Because, like, I mean, we all drink, you know, it's just part of the party. But then, you know, it's like staying healthy, but then also being like in this lifestyle. How do you find it almost?
It's so hard. I feel like I'm pretty open and honest about my mental health, and I'll always
Because it takes its toll on everybody. Like,
Yeah,
it's
the
not
sleep,
just yeah.
the sleep alone, I think, is what gets me the most. And like, there's been times when I've been like on my way to a job and I've been crying because I'm so
Really?
tired and just exhausted. But that is the job, and as they say, that's showbiz, baby, and the show must go on. So you just got to suck it up. You know, if I'm ever feeling overtired or overexhausted, I know how lucky I am to do what I do.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful and like do not take it for granted for a second.
That's it, and just keep opening more doors and seeing where it takes you almost, right?
My I used to have like a rule or like the mentality of like always say yes. So if you ever like get offered a job, always say yes, because you never know where the next job will come.
That's it.
I am so lucky that I'm now in the position where I can say no, because I only work with like venues and brands that I really care about, that I want to be a part of, that I'm passionate about, and that I know are like passionate and supportive of me. And it is so just refreshing to be in that scenario, and just so comforting that I know that if I go to work and if I'm having a bad day, or if for whatever reason something's upsetting me, if I like want to like talk to someone quickly or whatever, that no matter what venue I walk into, I know that there is always a support system there. And it is truly like walking into like my own little family at this venue. And then that's what I love about DJing as well versus working in one venue, is like you have all these little like support systems and like families and communities in like every single venue, that it's just so nice to be part of like so many different things.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of it, right? Because then it's just like, you know, you go in there, you play a couple of sets, different venues or whatever, but then it's just you meet people and you go out and about and you might bump into them, and it's just like, it's like friends on a work level in a way.
Even doing this for as long as I have now, so I'm coming up to like 10 years of working in nightlife, and it's so amazing to be able to go to different venues and be like, oh my god, I used to work with you like at this venue here, and like et cetera, and that's like as well, like with DJing, like the amount of different like DJs that you get to work with at like different venues or different events or different festivals, even like the like production teams and everything that come in for festivals. There was like a girl that I saw not that long ago, and she had done the previous festival that I was at, and I was just like, oh my god, like it's so nice to see you again. And you know, once you get to that level, it's just so comforting, and it's just like, oh, this is like nice. And like if you're having a crappy day, like I just know by the time that I get to work, I'm going to be fine.
Well, that's it, and just it builds you up almost, right? Because it just like it reinforces it, just, you know, I'm gonna have a great night tonight. I'm so happy I got to talk to that person. Didn't expect to chat to them, but they've really changed my whole mood, and I'm you know, can't wait. So
even like the patrons are so great, like 9 out of 10 times, like the feedback that you get from them, they're still like, I genuinely think probably every single time I DJ, I would have females come up to me and be like, it's so nice to see a girl DJ. And I'm like, that's amazing. I love hearing that. I was standing next to a female security guard on Sunday at the old synagogue, and there was so many people that were coming up to her and being like, can we just get a photo with you, because it's so nice to see a female security guard. And it's true. It's just like, it's so nice to like be able to like represent like people in a different kind of way.
That's it. Everyone should just be, you know, everything should just be equal and fair. It doesn't matter if you're a girl and you're a security guard or whatever the situation is. Just, you know, a job's a job, right? So I was going to ask, like, whenever you walk down the street, do you ever get like fans coming up to you? Because you've got such a social media presence now. Do you ever get like people recognize you on the street at all?
Yeah, I do. It's like, it's really nice. Especially like, I feel like when you work, like my focus has always been my marketing, and that's like no doubt why I am good at what I do, and like why I have like a successful DJ career is purely from my marketing and promotions background, because I know how to market myself. So it's really like nice and really refreshing. Or like even I'll get like a ton of like positive messages, or like people will say, like reach out to me and be like, it's so nice to hear you talk about mental health and things like this online. And it's like, that's why, you know, I think like a massive part of DJing in 2022 is like promotions and marketing, because it's like I'm not just DJ Kayty Banks. When I go and support my local coffee shop, I'm still DJ Kayty Banks, but it's subliminal marketing. When I talk about my mental health online, I'm still DJ Kayty Banks, but I'm just being Kayty to those people, etc., etc. So it's like, And it's really nice to be recognized, especially not just for DJing, but when I am recognized for DJing, it's so comforting. And it's just like, oh my God, this is like so nice. And it's the biggest compliment in the world, because I never expected to be where I am with DJing. I thought maybe I would have 2 years tops, and then the industry would like be like, okay, like she's done, let's get rid of her. And the fact that I've like lasted, I think I'm in my like 4th or 5th year of DJing now. This is my 4th Pride. And just before Pride was when I really started, like, this was my job and like being a full-time DJ. So yeah, I'm only in like my 4th or 5th year, but I never thought that I would, like, if you had have said to me like 5 years ago, you're going to open for Havana Brown, I would have been like, you're fucking kidding me.
Yeah.
Or like, not a chance. Or like, even like, you're going to play on the same stage as Will Sparks. I'd be like, not a chance.
But it's just the opportunities arise, just like
it's amazing. And like as well, like the people that are along for the ride with you, who help you out with opportunities, it's just like truly amazing. And like the backing that you have from people. And I'm so lucky in terms of like, when I kind of like came up in nightclubs and nightlife, I came up with like a certain few people who are still around and who are still like with me. I remember being like one of the only female managers, and another one of the only female managers was Gemma Patton, and she managed the court and I was at Mint and Air. And I remember we would reach out to each other and be like, oh, this was a really tough situation, but it's so nice that someone else gets it. And now she's my boss at Capital Corp, or she's now like the area manager for Capital Corp, which is great. And it's just nice that we are still working together, but in a different capacity now.
Well, that's the beauty of hospitality, because like you can just jump ship to different, you know, venues, different bars, whatever the situation is. But a lot of people stick in it, and then, you know, as we were just talking about before, friendly faces at different venues almost. So,
and that's the thing. When I started working in hospitality, it was because I was a beautician who couldn't pay my rent. I didn't come into this thinking that this was a real job, or I just didn't have that mentality. For me, it was, how am I going to pay my rent this week? And now to still be here almost 10 years later and to have created this life for myself and these opportunities, I never would have seen this coming.
Do you still do beautician on the side?
No, absolutely
So you just like, it's complete DJing, entertainment.
I offered
now.
to give Jake Stone a spray tan today because we were talking about Oktoberfest and like doing prees for Oktoberfest, and I was just saying how like, are we doing prees, because my fake tan's not going to last in the sun for 10 hours. So like, but no, it's like that life is
just complete career swap almost.
Even like with Banks & Co. Banks & Co. used to be such a like creating events for different venues and like, you know, pushing out door girls and everything. And even with that, it's like kind of ended up being something totally different again, which is amazing. And like now Banks & Co. has like stepped away from doing like weekly club events and is focusing more on like bigger scale things like staffies or doing day parties. And rather than hiring out door girls, we're now focused on pushing out DJs, because that's just what has been,
what's been coming
it's like
in,
supply and demand. That's what people wanted from us. So it's just been amazing to see like the evolution of everything, not only like myself as like a person and myself as a brand, but then my actual brand of Banks & Co. and just seeing where that's developed and everything as well.
So how much work do you do at home when you're not DJing?
Every day.
Every day.
So,
but if it's your passion and you enjoy it, then it's not work, right?
But also, you know, when you work for yourself, like, it is a luxury as much as it is work. So if I don't work on Mondays, I don't get paid. I need to send all my invoices. I need to make sure everything's up to date. I need to make sure my rosters are done for the weekends and that I've got DJs covered at all of the venues that have asked of me. It's just, it is, and especially coming up to staffies, that is a whole other workload. Staffies truly takes 6 months of the year to organize and to get to where it is.
But that's just like with festivals as well. Like sometimes with festivals, it's like the day after that festival's finished, they start working on next year's, because there's so much involved, so much going on behind the scenes.
Every year after, so the last couple of years, obviously it was named Barcella previously, now with the name change. Literally the next day we are already talking to the venue and we're like, what can we do next year to make it better? What didn't run smoothly? Even throughout the night, we'll like have little meetings. And Gemma Patton has been the venue manager both years so far of like running it. So it's been good to be able to go back and forth and being like, okay, what's happening? What's not working? What is working? Is there anything that we need to be doing, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, it's good to have those discussions, honestly.
Yeah. Especially with someone who's like not just a boss but a friend. It's been so great. But even to like so far, the biggest problem both years is we haven't been able to get people through the door fast enough because we just have such a line. It has been insane. So if you're coming to Starfies this year, which like I hope everybody is, especially in the hospitality community, get in early because there will be a line and you will need to wait.
And so, like, when you say not being able to get people through the front door as quick,
You just have lines.
It's just lines, but
Lines
like
around the corner.
But is it like, do you need to have more people at, you know, checking tickets and stuff like that, or is it just literally just like you're just chocked full and
They're
just
full? Like the line's just around the corner. We literally couldn't put on more like door staff members because we've got everyone that we can do checking tickets, scanning IDs. We couldn't have more people on in that aspect. It's just that everybody comes at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
Which is the problem for like every festival, every like day party, even on a Saturday night, everyone wants to come at the peak time. So if I can give anyone any kind of advice, it would be to make sure that you get down early.
Just quickly, do we have any comments at all, Dama?
We do actually. Nick Owens is "Hey legend, go Kayty."
Oh,
there you go.
Nick.
Can we pull them up on the screen so we can read them? But I was going to say, like,
Bit hard on this.
I mean, like, you must feel really proud, though, to be able to actually create an event that is so successful and helping the community and doing the right thing in the right way, right?
I am really proud of it. I know Ben is really proud as well.
Ben Renner, or?
No, so Ben Tour, who we run Starfies and the WA Bar Awards together.
Okay.
I think a lot of people know him now as like B Diddy McDaddy because that's
B
just
Diddy
the
McDaddy.
name that he goes by on socials. But we're really proud. It took us 2 years of brainstorming to get the concept and make sure everything that we had in place we were able to do it. And it wasn't just I just cannot stress how much work and thought process goes into the event. And went into it before bringing it out. Like 2 years it took us of like talking back and forth and going like coming up with names and things like that. And even like this year we obviously had to change the name, and if you've seen the promo you know why, but basically we just had Eventbrite and Coachella reach out to us about us infringing copyright, which is amazing.
I was kind of hesitant to ask, but then, because we talked about it before, but I was kind of like, should we talk about it? So that's what actually happened then.
Yeah, so we received an email and basically just saying that we're infringing copyright because Coachella owned the word Cella. So we never thought that we would be on a scale where Coachella would even know who we are. And obviously it's not Coachella. It's obviously they have a team of people that work for them that are searching for stuff like this. But as soon as we got it, Ben and I were like stoked and we're like, oh my God, this is amazing marketing material. Like
that they've noticed that.
Yeah, this is the best thing that could have really happened to us. It gave us a whole promo video. So we're like, this is wicked. Like, so it is amazing. You're obviously you're never going to please everybody, but I cannot stress to you when I say we have thought of everyone, and our intention behind this is truly to get a community together. And like with every community, there are going to be some people that don't like it. Yeah. But
that's kind of a good lead in almost. So should we talk about what happened a couple of was it last week or was it a couple of days ago? I can't believe what happened.
I just can't believe the negativity of it all.
I just stood
over
at
a $9
that's
Goon
it.
box.
I just kind of found it scrolling through Facebook and was like, holy shit, what is this crap?
I didn't even I'm not friends with the people that were writing the
but it's just
post. But I didn't see it.
But it's just like you said, though. It's like it's a goon box. It's just like a bit of fun,
And I think the thing as well with hospitality and with DJing and everything is that I'm not naive enough to think that I know every DJ in Perth.
There's so many.
There are. And I'm so like aware that I'm in a commercial lane and I stick to that lane. I don't try to really ever go outside of it. Which is why when we count all of the like nominations for everything, that it's not just me who counts it. It's like a team of people that are there with me, and we're going over all of the nominations. And like, just for the backstory, the Staffies Awards are public vote that are open for 6 weeks, and they're aimed at like everybody who's kind of like current in the community and is like, you know, wants to like do their best. And it's just like it's like a merit certificate at school, you know? And generally, if you are like nominated, you've pretty much like usually campaigned for yourself to be nominated from your friends. And this year for our DJ award, it's like Perth's Best DJ. I think we had the most votes for that specific award than we did for any of the other categories. And we have the most finalists in that because it was like such a tie. But in that, there was like 10 people listed who were all a really good representation of their field, whether it's R&B, whether it's house, whether it's bass. Or
open format or anything.
Commercial. We even have the like Latin community is in there, which is amazing. If our event has reached that community, then that is amazing. But
I just wanted to just go Butterfly 73 on a Thursday night, the Latin night. Apparently that is Mikasa. That goes off apparently. I've driven past being like, why is there a line out the front on a Thursday night?
Yeah, it's
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, the Latin music is really taking off in Perth. Yeah. But continue, sorry.
But yeah, like I said, I'm not naive enough to think that I know every DJ in Perth. This wasn't like the Kayty Banks thinks that these people are the 10 best DJ, but I think it's a very fair list of people who are current in the community and are really like representing their field. There were a group of older DJs who didn't agree with that and just started dragging everybody on that list. I think that list really speaks for itself. But I don't think that there's anyone really on that list who doesn't deserve to be on there for different reasons. Being a DJ is so much more than technical ability. It's promotions. Some of those guys on that list are producers. There are so many.
It's showmanship. It's being able to dance and have a great time and just being involved and like you know, talking to the crowd, and there's so much involved.
There is.
But I just have to say, I just can't believe that it's just like, you know, on the podcast we talk about how sometimes it can be toxic in certain, you know, communities of the DJ industries, and like, you know, you might have drum and bass events or dubstep events or whatever's going on, and just like, you know, little things happen and people get in arguments. But then it's like Perth is such a small community in itself, and that just threw it in the limelight. It's like 160 comments. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on?
I haven't seen all the comments. I only really like went on there to kind of just say like, guys, it's really not that serious. Like it's a green box. It's a green box. Like, if you guys have that much of an issue, go to Dan Murphy's and have your own awards night. You can do it for less than $10. But
gossips. $5.
Like it just blew my mind, the negativity over a goon box. Like, who cares? But also, like, I'm telling you right now, and like, I work like up to 5 nights a week on the level of DJing that I am on, which is, I would say, like, whether you like me or not, whether you think I'm a good DJ or not, like,
full time.
There's no way that you can say that that's not being a successful DJ of DJ as much as I am.
That is being successful,
my quiet weeks are like 3 nights a week, which is already like more than a lot of people. Not only in general who say that there are DJs, but a lot of people that were commenting on that thread.
That's it, yeah. And it's also the thing as well, it's like, we'll dive into the Your Shot after, but it's like, how many people go to Your Shot and then participate and they, you know, have a go, but they don't get work after that. Because, you know, like, they enter and they want to become professional DJs, but Perth is so small that it's kind of hard for them to slot in. A lot of people have become successful and managed to get work, but they think it's like some, I guess maybe, I don't know, but some people just go there and they participate and think, I'm going to get work now. But there's so much back end to it. It's networking, socializing, marketing, media, the whole lot.
there's so much more to being a DJ than pressing buttons.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason you don't agree with that, then that is so fine. But in 2022, this is what DJing is.
Yeah.
And I'll be the first person to say, I'm not like I'm not going to technically blow your mind, but in my genre, which is commercial, I'm doing pretty good. And like that is better than a lot of those people on that thread can say. And I can also say, like, when you're on, like, in my community, there is absolutely nobody who's dragging anybody like that. And nobody from that list who is dragging people like that.
Yeah, no way.
Nobody has anything
Like,
negative to say. It's not like, oh, that person was so shit, or it's genuinely not a negative space, but people like that make it negative. And even the comments, like, I know when I was just trying to describe, you know, what the, like, where the event is and like the background of it and like how we came up with these awards, it was like, well, you look like a stripper.
Yeah, but
like,
that's it. It's like, why?
I'd ruin your career on the decks, and it's just like, okay, 8 Mile, that's not what this is about. Like, and also, if you think that you can hurt my feelings, I came up in the industry working alongside Christian Beaton and Ben Tour. If you think that you can hurt my feelings, you've got no fucking idea what you're talking about, because nobody held my hand. Like,
but it's just so baffling that they go after like appearance, or they go like, it has
that's
nothing.
Just such an uneducated thing to do, because it's like, if you've got nothing else to say, like, if you're going to insult me, make it valid. Have some depth behind what you're saying, but don't come at me about looks. I'm so aware of what I look like, because, like, newsflash, I paid to look this way.
It was your choice.
No one else, like, you know, invested into me looking like a stripper. And it's 2022. We're not shaming sex work. Like, by you telling me that you think I look like a stripper, to me, you're telling me I'm hot. So it's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm sorry if for whatever reason that offends
with the full
you.
hair flick.
But it's like, if that offends you, or if me DJing offends you, if me putting on my own night offends you, do your own. But like, also, I'm not here, like, and I genuinely didn't know who these people were in the industry, but if you don't know about my event, or if you don't know about me, if you don't know about the people on that list, then my event's you're probably not my demographic. You're probably not my target market. I'm going for like current DJs who are currently working in venues, who are supportive of a community and want to go like into this little night to celebrate with their mates.
To celebrate hospitality.
If that's not you, then that's fine. There were people who were commenting and people saying this person should have been in there, and if that person's not on there, then it doesn't count. That person could have been on there, and that people,
if people
like,
voted for them,
could have, but that person could have posted about the event. I know that there were people on there who were dragging it. I'm like, that's really wild that you're dragging this event, because you're out the front last year asking me for free tickets. Like, it blows my mind. And
just double standards almost.
Any DJ could say, hey guys, I'm up for this award, can everybody please vote for me? But that's a part of it. Like, if you're not doing that, then how would you expect to be involved, or how would you expect to be nominated? It's just not realistic.
But it's just like what I said before. It's like, you know, with this podcast and talking to so many other people, it's like, it should be all about positivity. And I try and encourage positivity and try and talk about real issues and this and that.
All of Australia just shut down not that long ago, where we all didn't even know if this career was going to be viable ever again.
That's exactly it.
Like, I generally have no time for negativity. And even like in the last year, like, I think also, like, I just have to say, being a female in this industry is difficult. It's very, very hard. And I had always, you know, been under the understanding, I've always been really outspoken, I've always been really loudmouthed to get my point across. And that's always been like a massive part of my branding, except for the last couple of years where it kind of died down because I was just so busy that I didn't have a chance to be loud on the internet anymore. It was like in the last year, I was like, someone had kind of like gone after me and I like retaliated online, and I had, wildly enough, one of those DJs who was nominated for Best DJ award contacted me, and he was just like, Kayty, this doesn't come across how you think it does. Like, I understand that to you, you're standing up for yourself, but as someone who has watched you over the last decade, like, this just comes across as you like stooping to their level and you're above that. And I was like, you know what, you're right, maybe I need to reflect on my own maturity. And like, it's the type of mentality which came with that whole argument about who's the best DJ in Perth. yelling the loudest doesn't make you win an argument.
That's it.
If you yell in an argument, to me, straight away, you've lost, because you've basically just said, I don't have a case, so I'm going to, you know, be outspoken.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
And dragging people on their looks and appearance and saying, I'm a better DJ than you. You've been DJing for 20 years. You should be a better DJ than me. But also, you should be setting an example and showing encouragement. And if you don't know who these people are, just because you don't know who they are and they're not in your bubble, that doesn't mean that they're not the top. How are you that ignorant that you think that you know who the best DJs are and only you know, and they're only in your circle? That's so.
It's just kind of funny because it's like when we're narrowing it down, it's like, you know, he might be watching, or whoever it is watching, but this is like 20 years.
I'm sure that they are.
Yeah.
But like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. Like, I'm not in your world. You don't know who I am, and I don't know who you are. That doesn't mean that we can't both be successful. But if you're telling me that because I'm not in your world and you don't know who I am, if you're that naive, then there are bigger problems. And like, you guys can have your own little awards in your own little community. Like we said, it's costs less than $10 to run your own little awards night where you get a goon box as a prize. It's not that deep. But to be dragging people who just don't deserve it, who were nominated by their peers, and I'm telling you, half of the people who were nominated didn't even know that they were up for the award. Yeah. Like, and I think Roe v. Rush made a really good comment where he came on there and he was like, look, guys, I don't promote myself at all, but I keep getting nominated for this. I don't know why, but like, you know, if it was up to me, vote for Mishap because I think she's great.
Well, he's just an overall good dude.
He is.
That's
and
it.
He's like technically amazing.
Yeah.
Like, technically
he knows what he's doing
skilled,
and he loves it and he puts his heart into it. Yeah.
From a community. Like, I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Roe v. Rush because he is such a, like, just such a true gem of a person, so encouraging. And even, like, I've spoken to Roe v. before about, like, you know, being a good DJ and, like, what that entails. And, like, I remember I, like, spoke about this on the podcast 2 years ago. But I remember we were getting an Uber from Fremantle into the city and we were talking about who we thought were, like, the top DJs, like, who our favourite DJs were. I remember saying to Roby, which I felt like I had to, like, I know that I'm not technically amazing, so, like, don't worry, I know. And he was just like, Kayty, you work. Like, you work for this job. You work to get booked all the time. He's like, that's amazing. He's like, that's what you should be really proud of. And he's like, the rest of it will come to you. And
it just takes time. And
it's and it just, like, no one is ever going to be amazing coming out. But if, say, for example, if you had a bunch of DJs, if all those DJs who made all those negative comments had have actually been like, okay, cool, let's look at this list, let's educate ourselves. Who are these people? Maybe we can relay our 20 years on the industry into these guys, because everybody has a due date. Everybody has their day. This isn't going to be, like, I'm not going to be a popular DJ forever. Like, you know, my day will come in the same way that their day will come. But I'm not naive enough to think nobody after me can come and everybody who's after me is shit and they're not good. Like, that's just... Like, why would you want to leave that impression? Why wouldn't you want to be like, wow, like, that person really did something for the industry, which is what Ben and I are trying to do with Staffies and the WA Bar Awards. We're just trying to leave something back to an industry and a community that has meant a lot to us and given us a lot over our... I think Ben's been in the industry for like 15 years, I think, maybe... But see,
it's
longer.
It's almost like a mentoring thing as well.
It is.
Because, like, you know, people show interest, they're really keen on it, and then you take them under their wing, and then you show them the ropes, and it's like in any form of hospitality, and then they can, you know, strive to perform and strive to do really, really well.
It is.
But if you're, you know, negative and you push people out, then how can people that really want to get involved get the opportunity?
Exactly.
Because it's kind of closed because Perth, it's not closed, but Perth is so small that it's kind of like what I was saying about your shop. It's like, it's so unfortunate we don't have heaps and heaps of bars and venues and pubs and nightclubs and the whole lot. You know, we've got 9 nightclubs, I don't know, 15 nightclubs or something like that. Go to Melbourne, Sydney, you probably got 50. But
there's also like a much bigger population there.
Exactly. That's exactly it. But you have all these people that are bedroom DJs and they want an opportunity, or, you know, cocktail slingers or something like that, you know, and they really want to get involved, but it's just takes time, networking, socializing, and then you be able to find out where to go almost. So
that's the thing. I think with anything, it's like what you get out of it is what you're going to.
That's it.
Like what you put into it.
You reap your rewards almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by posting about our little event and, hey guys, do you mind voting for me? Those people so on their rewards. They got nominated for a goon box. I haven't seen anybody on that list dragging anyone, speaking negatively. I haven't seen anybody like, you know, even really promoting it to be like, hey guys, vote for me, because everybody on that list really, like, they kind of deserve to be there. Like, you know, you've got a ton of geisha DJs, you've got bass DJs, you've got producers. Like, it's just such a lengthy list of like kind of every category for DJing that I think it's a fair representation. And again, I come from a commercial lane and I will generally stick to my lane, which is why there were other people involved in, you know, counting the votes and making sure that everybody was represented.
Yeah. But that's it. And that's like, and in a way, it's business. Because, I mean, no matter what. It is
business.
Yeah, no matter what, in business, there's always going to be competitors. There's always going to be, you know, sharks and this and that and all sorts of other stuff. But it's just sticking to your guns and being successful. So.
And that's the thing. I think
that's what you are.
in this industry, and like what really like got to me about all the personal insults about like my appearance and how I'm a shit DJ or whatever. It's like, if you think that that's going to hurt my feelings, you have no idea what 10 years of working in this industry being a female is, because saying I look dumb doesn't really cut it.
Yeah.
Like, and also telling me how dumb I look doesn't read how you think it does. You know, when you're lashing out at females and their looks and their appearances and how stupid they are and how they look like sex workers, that doesn't come across.
It's not right.
That doesn't come across well. That doesn't shine you in a good light. That doesn't make me look bad. It's like that saying, what Sally says about Susie says more about Sally than it does about Susie.
I've never heard that, but yeah, that makes sense though.
But it's like,
yeah.
It blew my mind.
Yeah.
But, and you know, and to even like be sharing this today and be like, let's tune in to see what she has to say. I know. It's just like, I literally just wrote underneath it, like with a discount code. I'm like, if you're going to keep talking about my event, you might as well promote it. Like.
But see, that's the thing as well. It's like, we booked this in a month ago, 2 months ago or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was a few months ago now.
Yeah, because I wanted to get you on just to see what's going on, plus also Barcella, star fees. But then it's like, this is always blown up over the last week. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Well, we've got something else to chat about tonight. So, but let's get off of that. So, how's your shot judging? What is it like being a judge there? So
fun. I loved it. This is the second time that I have done it.
Because did you ever do a wild card or anything like that, or
no,
just judging?
I've only ever judged, so this is my second year doing that. But so much fun, like, and it's so good to see another generation of DJs come out of it.
Exactly, yeah.
I like have such a love-hate relationship with Jared Mulcahy, and he's truly like the little brother that I never had.
He's such a cool guy, honestly.
We just get such a like, rise out of gently bullying each other.
Like when I had him on here, I just loved it because we're just getting on the beers, and just
he's
chatting
such
and talking
like
shit
a lovable
and this and that. Like,
little, like, I say fuck up in like the loveliest way, because he's just such a little menace of like young little.
And he just got back from Greece or something as well. Like
thing, like he was in Your Shot. Like so years ago. Oh, he's such a little like little menace.
Yeah.
We had so like a couple of years ago he entered Your Shot, and we had such a full circle moment because he entered Your Shot, then straight away messaged me afterwards and was just like, hey, I know that you're booking DJs, I want in. And I was like, okay, cool, like have you been to my events? And he's like, oh no. And I was like, okay, cool, so like can you tell me a bit about the events? He's like, no. And I was like, okay, so why would I book you? And we had this whole thing. I remember I was in my dragging people on the internet era, and I like posted, and I was just like, the audacity. A year later, almost to the day, I needed a DJ for a cover. It was like last minute. I reached out to Mike DeWitt, who always helps me in these scenarios, and I was just like, hey, I need someone. Put me in a group chat with Jared Mulcahy. And I was like, you have got to be kidding me. This is so funny.
Yeah.
He saved my ass because someone had just called in sick and he was able to do it. And then from there, I've just like booked him for like all of my stuff. But he's like a great example of what you can do if you come out of Your Shot.
Yeah,
like
with the passion and the energy
he has
and
such
everything.
a passion for it. He's entertaining. He like gets on it. Like,
Yeah,
he is
he's a
there
party boy,
He's
yeah.
there for prees. He's there for like the after party. Like, he is just there to have a good time. And he just got to go to Greece, so that's incredible.
That's it. And like I follow him on Instagram, and it looked like he had a wild time. Honestly,
all the guys that go to Greece look like they absolutely love it. Like, I feel sorry for like the group of guys that were like going every year. Like, I just remember always seeing like Boston Switch, Shan, Jake Stone. It felt like every year they were going to Greece. And I remember just thinking, I hate you guys. I'm sitting in an office running these like club events.
You're on the
like,
beach and then
you guys are
partying at
living
night.
your lives.
Yeah.
And then like COVID hit, but it's so like I felt so bad for them because I was like, shit, that would be awful to not be able to go to these like
Or getting stuck
other
over there or
but then being able to see Jared do it, I'm like, oh my god, it's like the next generation of like little like, you know,
shining stars
Greece
almost.
Grom is going on. It's like so lovely. It's like, that's sick. Like, that's what the industry should be about. It should be like about far out. He's like just come full circle and he's killing it.
But that's it, and that's like the whole mentoring thing as well. It's like seeing the ambition being like, all right, kid, you're up.
Yeah.
You know? Show me what you can do. Like,
even, you know, this year, oh my gosh, I forgot to even say, with Oktoberfest, I'm so excited because this is my first year that I have a Banks & Co. silent disco.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've got a channel, Jake Stone's got a channel, and Shan O'Connor has a channel under Streamline. And we were in a group chat the other day and someone had pulled out and we were all like, oh, like, can we get a cover? And like the first thing that Jake Stone says was like, I really want to give it to someone from your shot, because it's like, it's just nice to like see them want it. And if I hadn't have come from the background that I did of working in venues for as long as I did and working my way up, understanding how venues work and how hospitality works, how the nightclub industry works, there's no way I would have made it as a DJ. If I came in 4 years ago and you said to me, okay, in 4 years' time, go support Will Sparks, Savannah Brown, Tiger Lily, all of those people that played on the Liquid Candy stage, like, do that. I would have no idea what to do. So Your Shot is such an amazing experience, even just to give you a community of people to, you know, that if you don't, say, hypothetically, make any friends, or you're not sure how you don't do that well on the day, you at least know who the instructors are, and you know, okay, cool, so I can look up to them and I can like help them out. Someone that I've never met someone who goes as hard for their students as Boston Switch. Like, any
Blake
opportunity
is such a cool dude.
Yeah,
honestly,
any opportunity
cool
that he
dude.
has to put his students forward for something, he is like on it. And it's like, it's so amazing that people can have that kind of experience and can have somebody to like help them out. I never had that. I would have loved that as a young DJ. I had no idea, but I made it off my branding being so aggressive and being so like, I'm a shit DJ, I'm going to redline anyway. You guys are going to bag me out for how I look, but
I'm still here though. Yeah. I'm still
here I am
and
5 years
excited
later,
to it,
and I don't need to market myself like that anymore. I don't need to market myself as a dumb idiot anymore. But if I hadn't have marketed myself that way, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. Like, I needed to do what worked for me at the time. I knew what my weaknesses were. I knew what people were going to call me out on. So I went with it, and that became my whole marketing.
And it worked well.
Yeah. If you like call me stupid or whatever, then my marketing worked on you, and then you're the real idiot. So it is what it is. But it's so great that like the next generation can have a competition like Your Shot. And I know, you know, Your Shot received like a little bit more heat this year, and like, you know, people wanted to know where like, is it right that people pay to enter and all that kind of stuff. Your Shot is the cheapest way.
Yeah, I just want to
enter.
clarify that. So, because a friend of mine, right, well, an acquaintance of mine, I would like to call him a friend, he ended up messaging me something and dragging me into this whole kerfuffle thing that was going on with my co-creator, so with Mitch, because Mitch made a post about it. So with what he posted about that, it has nothing to do with the podcast, it has nothing to do with me, because like I had people messaging me being like, have you seen what he's messaging, have you seen what he's doing? I'm like, what? Like, it has nothing to do with me. I'm up north working. Like, what's going on back in Peace City? Like, so
I mean, a lot of people were commenting about, you know, paying to play and stuff like that.
It just stirred the pot once again. Like, for
me, like, as an outsider looking in, and like I have like no association with Your Shot. I'm like, I know
incoming cat. Sass, watch out, you. Hop off. Wait, keep going. Keep going. Come on. Come on.
With like, yeah, I have no association with Your Shot. I'm not a trainer. I've like judged it for 2 years, and I know this year they reached out to me in terms of like doing a talk about marketing and everything, because that's
Really?
what I know. Yeah.
So how would that have played out? Like at the end,
They have like weekly meetups where they have someone who comes in and chats. Like, it was like so embarrassing for my soul, because everybody was messaging me and they were like, "Oh my god, are you our like guest like speaker for tonight?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh my god, it is you." And it was Shock One, and I'm like, I'm so embarrassed because Shock One is so much bigger than me and like such a bigger deal. I'm so embarrassed that you guys were like thinking it was like me and my level of like relevance and like knowledge, when it's like an actual like career.
That's it.
Fucking killing it, DJ.
Worldwide touring. Yeah.
But it's so funny. But so yeah, I have no like reason to say this or whatever, but I think it's like essentially like a raffle. Like, you pay to play, and the best thing is that you are like gambling on yourself. If you are in this industry, I'm telling you right now, you gamble on yourself every set. Every like week, every job that you do, you are gambling on yourself consistently. Yeah. So
it's performance.
If you don't have the balls to enter something like Your Shot, then maybe this industry isn't for you. Or if you don't feel comfortable putting in $60, I mean, $60 for the chance to win the prize that they do, that's incredible. That is so incredible, and I would love that opportunity. Would I ever enter it? Probably not, because I mean, I don't think that the wild card is kind of designed at me.
That's it. And you've already got work, and like having work, you'd have to take a night off work, which, you know, a night of not having work, miss out money. So
it's, I think it
could cause a hiccup.
I don't think that I am their target market. I think that it's a different kind of DJ that they're aiming for. In the same way that I don't think it would really be like fair if, I mean, I don't think that I would necessarily win my stage or anything like that. But it's not a competition that I would enter. But I think it's amazing for DJs who are in the position where they can enter and they can learn something. You know, I know like a couple of like really, really baby DJs entered just as contestants, and they got lessons because they've never had lessons before.
That's it.
And that's amazing. I mean, the lessons that I did were so so minimal to leading up to being a DJ. I would have frothed at the opportunity.
What were your lessons, and like how did you actually, did we talk about this 2 years ago?
I don't actually think that we did, but the whole reason I learned how to DJ was because I got cast to go on Love Island. So
really,
I was supposed to be on season 1 of Love Island Australia. I've worked as an artist liaison for years, so I knew what being on reality TV meant. I knew that afterwards you do a club tour.
Really?
And that you do, so you do like guest appearances, which is like what we used to do with all the Geordie Shore cast members.
Yeah,
and what we
so I remember
used to
you talking about that,
Yeah. So I knew like, okay, cool, I've been cast in this TV show. I now have 6 weeks to learn how to DJ. So I did 6 weeks of intensive lessons with another DJ where I would go to their house. I learned on CDJ 300s, and like
old school.
I now play on 3000s every weekend. So I'm like, this was like really going back. So it was like tough times learning about like phrasing and everything, but I had like really like a 6-week crash course where we went over the bare minimum of what I would need to know to do a club set after if I was to, you know, go down that road.
But still, like 6-week crash course on 300s, that's...
But that's tough times.
Yeah, difficult.
It was fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Then learning how to DJ on a laptop, and then needing to eventually transition that over to USBs, because a laptop is just not viable in my opinion of like going out to venues and carrying it around. And I definitely don't want to risk taking my laptop to venues where, you know, God knows what can happen to it.
Yeah. See, like I'm the complete opposite. Like I always take my bag, my own DJ deck, my laptop, everything.
I can't think of anything worse.
And I stick by it. The only reason why though is because it's like I know how to use it inside out. I've got all the music ready to go. My laptop's perfectly fine. Got the stand, and I've got foam pads as well, so I can put them on the CDJs or to the side, which preferably to the side, because you know club club owners and managers don't technically like that sometimes, but it's just I much prefer just the way I do it almost, because like I could learn on CDJ3. He's sitting right in front of the camera, right? Like I could learn on 3000s, which I know how to use Pioneer, but I just prefer my own instrument almost, in a way I could say. But yeah, sorry, go on.
I'm lucky that I will quite often not play at one venue in a night. Like I'll quite often go to like several venues in a night. And when they've got different equipment, it's just for me not a possibility to, when you're going, say like I start at 1 o'clock here, but I'm finishing here at 1 o'clock, there's not the time.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, in that aspect was like, okay, cool, I've got to learn quickly of like how to familiarize myself with this equipment. And I think also that's just like to a certain level of like a requirement of the job.
Yeah.
But going back to like what we were saying, I you know didn't learn how to DJ because I wanted to be the next Havana Brown. I did it because I saw an opportunity and I wanted to run with it.
Yeah.
I then ended up not going on the TV show. And
what, like, how did you go for the casting of that? Did they approach you or did you approach them?
So because I had worked alongside with all like the management for Geordie Shore for so long, I was already kind of like on the radar.
Pool. Yeah.
So one of the managers for Geordie Shore put me forward for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
alright.
yeah, it was really cool. I am really happy that I didn't do it. I don't think that it would have been the right thing for me. And I'm just not that type of person. I'm like not relationship focused anyway.
Did you get the contract or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or yeah. What?
Yeah.
How much does something like that actually pay?
It's like $150 a day.
$150 a day.
Yeah.
That's like nothing.
Yeah, it's not much.
That's nothing at all.
Yeah.
And then how many days, how many weeks, months are you on
It
that?
depends.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So
because
you
if
get
you get
voted
voted
out. Yeah.
but $150 a day.
Yeah. But like when you think about it, so like per week, say you're on it for 5 days, that's like probably an average person's wage. So it's not horrendous, but it
Yeah.
doesn't pay as well as people think that it would. But yeah, I'm thankful that I didn't go on the show. And then when, you know, I was sort of like realizing when I was like managing nightclubs that maybe that there would be a longer life for me DJing than there would be managing venues, I kind of already had that backing. And I just gambled on myself and I was like, okay, cool. Can I do this? Do I think realistically I can do it? I'm really lucky. I started out at some really cool venues, and because I already had my like connections of working in venues for so long, it really wasn't as difficult for me as it would be another person. And I already had a social media following, so it made sense for a lot of venues to hire me purely on based off of that.
Well, that's exactly it. You know, it's like it's still hospitality, but you're just moving from one role to another role.
Yeah.
And just using your connections and networking and
Yeah.
socials and everything like that.
Yeah.
To be able to connect the dots.
Yeah.
And so that's what, you know, a lot of people, it's just like, oh, I'm a bartender. Don't think I could ever do that. And I've had that at Long Chims before. And they're being like, how do you do that? And I'm like, practice. Well, you know, I've got a set at home and like, I can't do stuff like that. Practice. And then, you know, just have fun with it. And then, you know.
I think it's practice, having like a really good support system.
Yeah.
I would say like I'm really lucky that I had people like Gengar, Mike DeWitt, even like Boston Switch gave me one of my first sets, which is like great that he still does that for people now. But there weren't, like, in terms of like DJs, when I transitioned over, there weren't many like supportive
females.
people.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, supportive, sorry.
There weren't many supportive people in terms of like, because now I was like a bit of competition and it was like, well, now you're taking our sets away from us. Now it's not a problem because if anything, I feel like I've kind of like cemented my like, you know, I've made my mark.
But then you're also offering gigs out as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like,
I also do
it's
DJ
just,
rosters.
you know, that's exactly it. So it's like, it's gone from them thinking, okay, you know, you're taking work from us to being like, no, I'm giving you work. Like, you put the hard yards in and it swaps over almost. So.
Yeah. But I mean, like, I would work at Coconut Grove and I would have Gengar would stay with me and he would be like, okay, cool, like, next time do this, or like next time like work on this. And it was like amazing having somebody like Gengar who would be mentoring and just like lovely to deal with. And he wasn't rude, he was like never condescending to me.
He is such an amazing guy.
lovely.
Yeah.
I definitely like have experienced a ton of condescending comments and remarks and everything. But I feel like I've made my mark so that I don't get that nearly as often as
Well, that's the growth
did.
stage of it, though.
Yeah.
That's where it's like, you know, starting from the bottom now. Yeah. Right.
Even like I look back on my marketing when I started and I literally said to somebody on the phone on my way here, I can fully understand why I pissed people off because my marketing was so aggressive, it was so in your face, and it was so like, I'm shit, but I'm still getting booked. Don't be mad at me because I'm getting booked and you're not, which is how I felt. But again, if I didn't market myself like that and if I allowed any kind of like, you know, if I showed any kind of weakness, then I wouldn't have lasted. In like, I truly believe that. And now I don't need to market myself like that anymore because now I can, you know, actually DJ and I'm not bad at what I do.
Yeah.
If I, you know, was bad, I wouldn't be getting booked for the festivals that I am.
Did you ever study business or anything like that?
Yeah, so I studied marketing and promotions at TAFE and uni. I ended up dropping out of uni to be a DJ. So
Really?
I remember
How many years in were you? Were you at Curtin or
1
UW?
year, yeah, Curtin. So I remember having this conversation with Wasteland of all people. Wasteland. So he was like the court DJ a few years ago. He then moved to Sydney and he is now producing. He like just had a song with like Armin van Buuren and he's like killing it. Like like incredibly killing it. Like he's like any kind of like Australian performer that you can think of, he's worked with them. It's insane. And he's like currently working under not just Wasteland, but I think it's Crestbrook Music as well. If you would want to look them up.
Yeah.
I think it's Crestbrook Music. But they've like worked with some amazing artists. But I remember we were at a friend's birthday and we were just sitting next to each other and we were talking about things. And I remember he literally gave me the idea for Banks & Co. And he was just like, you should be doing other stuff. He's like, you get it. Like, he's like, you should make your own company, do this, do social media for other people. And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm not too sure about that. And then he was just like, you should DJ. And I remember I had an assignment due the next day and I was like, I could either go home and finish this assignment or I could stay out with my friends and I could like keep talking about whether or not they think that I could be a DJ. And like Matt truly like gave me the push that I needed and he was just like, why are you in uni? He's like, is this what you want to do? He's like, there's nothing that you can learn there that you don't already know or that you're not going to learn out in the world. And he's like, I feel like that's you're that kind of learner. You're not like a book like read it in a book and like you're more of a like figure it out as you go.
Yeah, switched on, yeah.
So I dropped out of uni the next day and then a year later suddenly what Matt was saying made sense to me and I made Banks & Co. And also like Christian Beaton had like a massive input into like behind Banks & Co. And it was just like as soon as I left Aaron Mint, I had so many people that were hitting me up and were like, oh my God, can you do what you did for like Aaron Mint? Can you do that for our venues? And I was like, oh my God, I actually have like so much knowledge on how to do the back end of stuff and it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
I'm like now.
It's just practice, yeah. And being able to have that opportunity. And that's the thing as well. It's like one door closed, another open.
Yeah.
And many doors open and, you know, you change your path almost.
Yeah.
But all it was just encouragement from a friend being like, you know, why are you at uni?
Yeah.
See, I get the same. It's quite funny, actually. I get the same thing up north because it's like I try to keep on the down low, but then I add someone on Facebook and it's like, what's this podcast? And they're like, you're a DJ? And like, yeah, no, I've been DJing for 10 years. I play everywhere. COVID stuffed everything up. That's why I'm up north. Why are you here? And I'm like, well, good money. And yeah, I don't really want to be up here, but at the same time, like, you know, learning new skills and getting into the emergency side of things and safety and fire and the whole lot. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, my love, my passion is still music. But it's like talking to one of them up there, they said like it's a stepping stone, it's a sidestep to get back onto the right path. And so like just like with uni for you, it's like you wanted to do business, you wanted to try and, you know, get the qualification, but then you realize that sometimes you don't need to do that. You can go off and
like by all means, everyone who like studies at uni, like sometimes that is the right path for other people. It just wasn't the right path for me. And now also like I mean, I can't even remember how many years ago I went to uni, how many years ago I dropped out. But like marketing in itself has changed totally. When I used to do marketing and promotions for venues, it was a totally different thing to what it is now.
That's it. It always changes every year. There's new revisions, and that's
so different to, you know, what it was when I was doing it.
Yeah.
And like now I have somebody that I go to for marketing, and I'm like, you know, what would you say? And like Nick Thompson is like the absolute best. He like truly knows his shit in what he's talking about when it comes to like marketing and ad spends and everything.
So that's through Where You, or it's just Nick directly?
I hope I didn't just get Nick in trouble, but I just talk to Nick. Like I'll message him and I'll be like, hey. And
that's all right. Like he's not in trouble.
Yeah, I hope. Yeah. Brandon makes enough money off him anyway, and like
that's it,
and some separate stuff.
Yeah.
But I would like constantly, like when, for example, when the whole thing happened, when Starfish got the letter from, or the email, sorry, from like Coachella and Eventbrite, and I was like messaging Nick, and he's like, okay, cool, so this is like what you've got to do, and I'm like stressing out to him, and I was just like, oh my god, like I don't know what to do, and like I've got so many like bans on my social media from like running Thirsty and Daddies and things like that, that it's almost impossible for me to do like a paid ad. So Nick was there like trying to help me through it, and I'm like, can you just do it? He's just like, no, like I do not want to touch your socials because they are tainted and like they are so like ruined that I don't want like anything to come back to me.
So
like, no,
you've got bans on like Thirsty and the others?
Well, uploading photos of like strippers and
so yeah, because we didn't dive into that 2 years ago, did we?
No, I don't think so.
So what happened? How did you get the bans? Like you can upload girls in lingerie, right?
No, you can't.
Really?
It's so difficult, and it's just getting worse and worse. So basically I ran club nights, Thirsty, Takeover, and Daddies, which was the gimmick behind those nights. And like all my nights have pretty much been gimmicked. It's like very rare for me to not do something that doesn't have a gimmick.
Okay.
And those nights revolved around strippers and cheeseburgers, or strippers and cupcakes, and like champagne and like, you know, whipped cream. It was like very like, if anybody ever watched like American Meme, it was like very like Kirill and like the Slut Whisperer and that kind of vibe for the nights. And when you upload photos of strippers online, regardless of how much you try and like cover nudity and things like that, you still get reported. So it was tough times. My ad account got banned a ton of times. Like I'd make a new one to get banned, make a new Facebook profile that like make a new ad count, it would get banned. It was impossible. So just from that, it's just really tarnished. And even like just saying outlandish things on the internet over the last like decade of working in nightclubs has also affected my ability to do a paid post.
Wow.
So now I outsource. And also like it was kind of funny because like this year is the first year that Ben Tour and I decided to get a PR team behind running like Barchella and Starfish. And one of the things that like they said was to be really mindful of the things that we say. And already like from having that meeting, the things that Ben and I just say online is just inappropriate at the best of times.
No, really.
So it's for the best now that we're moving forward with a PR company. We've got, you know, trying to outsource our marketing and Nick doing what
Nick does,
which is like, and I think also like realizing like you can do everything yourself, but you can't like, it's never going to be done well if you're doing absolutely everything yourself. You need to outsource where you can, and just be aware and be able to acknowledge like this person can actually do this better than me. And for like the end goal of a successful event, if that means outsourcing the marketing, which is what I feel like I've been known for so long, if that helps the event, then that helps me in the long run.
Yeah. Well, that's it as well. It's like with the PR team, that's their job directly. Yeah. So if you're trying to run something with Ben and you're trying to cover all sorts of avenues, do this, do that, and it's like multitasking, but you have a dedicated PR team, they're going to help out.
It's like we outsource our rooms for staffies, you know, like we generally get promoters to run every room and do like a takeover. We generally do the main stage ourselves, but generally we've always had Mike DeWitt doing the rosters and like running over that. This is the first year that Mike's just been too busy.
Really?
So he's still gonna play. And even though he's too busy, I've like still called him a bunch of times and been like, what do you think of this roster? And like, do you reckon this is in the right order? And everything. So
but still, that's kind of like mentoring as well, because it's like, you know, helping each
Mike's
other
been the
out.
best mentor, especially for me. He's always been the first person to tell me if I say something online that will piss people off, or if the way that my DJ like marketing, like that used to really piss him off, and he'd be like, it is fucked. This is how you know, run. And, you know, because it was offensive. And now, like, we can be like, yeah, like, I can see, you know what, yeah, that was offensive, but I felt like I did what I had to do to get to, you know, where I am.
Yeah.
But Mike's been a great mentor over the years, and, like, just a good friend, like, and incredible DJ. Like, I remember the first time I really saw him, because he's always DJ'd at all my events, but when I first saw him like properly close Oktoberfest, the first time I did Oktoberfest, I was like, oh my God, you are like, it was generally the first time I've watched a DJ and I've been like, I want to get better, because watching you and how incredible you are and like the reactions that you can get from the audience, like insane. Then the following year I got to DJ with Mike, and I was like, oh my God, this is like crazy, and this is like amazing to be able to work together on this level. We'd done a few back-to-backs before, but it was just, you know, a good opportunity again. I think it always is when you can work alongside someone who is like not only just like better than you, but you can learn from.
Well, see, I've always wanted to get him on here, but I just haven't messaged him yet. Been like waiting for the right time in a way.
Yeah,
but
he's a really busy guy.
That's it, and it seems like he's had a very lengthy career as well. Like,
Mike, there's only a few DJs. Like when I started out, the DJs that I remember being around would be like Mike, Shan, Blake, Jake, Jaimie Franchina, Nick, Gengar. Like, it's crazy that they're, you know, all still doing well, because this is like a good 10 years ago that I'm talking about. So and like if I had have started out 10 years ago as a DJ, there's no way that I would still be here. It is amazing that they have had like the successful careers that they all have had. Like, it's truly inspiring. Rovi, like, it's like, yeah, it's insane, some of the stuff and like some of the venues, the opportunities that these guys have had, and they're all still killing it.
And see, ages and ages ago, actually, it was actually at Insomnia Ball. I chatted to Rovi, and this is forever ago. But, you know, he told me he actually went up north as well, but he hated it, and he had to get back into DJing.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, you know, as what I was saying before, and like the whole passion thing.
Yeah.
Just realized like, nope, full frontal DJing, and then, you know, look where he is now in a way.
He's insane. Like, and his technical ability is wild. There was like a couple of times when I've had to go back to back with him. There was like a few when studio first opened, and we're trying to kind of figure out the format of like who was going to play and everything. Yeah. And I just remember seeing like on the roster that I was with Rovi, and I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Like, and it was like I hadn't used like that kind of equipment before, and I was like used to, you know, only using like Nexus like 2002s, and
so these are the 3000s
at the time. No, this is before the 3000. So this is just when it was like Nexus 2000s.
Okay.
And I genuinely couldn't work out the waveform of the box, because I did, like, that's just not how I learned. I learned from like the waveform where it's just like lines and it's fine. Figuring out the box, I remember literally messaging Rovi and being like, I need you to give me a real quick DJ lesson, because I've got no fucking idea what's going on. But like working with him was amazing. And I remember him being like, yes, you do. He's like, if you can't see it, because I'm a visual learner, I don't really use headphones a whole lot. So he's like, if you can't see it, hear it. And I'm like, okay. But then like doing that is fine, but doing that in front of a crowd full of people of a full venue that's just open and it's pumping, you're like,
that's it. The anxiety kicks in. You're like, oh, okay.
But like, again, another really encouraging person who like, and I remember saying to him afterwards, I feel like I didn't do that good. And he's just like, you did fine. He's like, you did great. He's like, the only person that thinks that you didn't do well is you. So it's just like, yeah, again, about like teaching the next generation of like positivity and like doing well. Exactly. He could have come off and been like, yeah, you did a shit job. But like that,
it's not like that.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah,
that wouldn't have gotten any of us anywhere.
And it's all a learning experience as well.
Yeah.
Because it's like the next time and the time after that, and it's just like after playing multiple venues and multiple gigs, and it's like you learn the do's and the don'ts and like how things work out, and you know what people want to hear and what people don't want to hear, and you know it's just reading the crowd and playing appropriately.
Exactly.
Yeah. How many? Can we have a look at the comments if that's all good?
Yeah.
Has it blown up or anything, or?
There was someone.
Oh, Mitch is there.
Was talking about. I like dragging people online, Kayty, bring her back. What does Kayty think about the $60 fee for wildcard entrance? Well, you've already explained that, but that was, of course, later. So what is, yeah. So do you want to do, I mean, you've already stated all that. That was more, he was commenting that.
Do we have any other comments?
We do have one.
Oh, we have Buddha.
But I mean, I think older DJs, more experienced DJs, like that's how it should be. But it shouldn't be older DJs tearing younger DJs apart. It should be older DJs educating younger DJs. And in the same way that, like, you can learn something from everyone. In the same way that I'm sure, like, you know, Buddha, for example, who's like commenting on the social media post, in the way that I'm sure he could teach me a few things about DJing. I'm sure I could teach him a few things about marketing and promotion. You know, it goes hand in hand. And it's in the same way of, like, I know a lot of like older DJs, and I'm not saying this in any way of being disrespectful. I know, like, and I'm sure Grizzly would have no issue in me naming him here. He will be the first person to be like, I don't enjoy social media. I don't think it should be about that. I think it should be about the music. And it's like, that's great, but that's not what it's about anymore. And
yeah, it's shifted.
There's so many memes about how being a DJ used to be about being a DJ, and now it's about marketing, promoting, how many tickets can you sell? But you either move with it or you're left behind. I've chose to go with it, and I've really worked on that aspect, and that's why I'm a DJ today. But if you don't, you know, if you don't go with it, you're going to get left behind. And unless you have really loyal booking agents, and you've got, you know, friends that can continue to carry you.
That's it.
That's, you know, what it is today.
But it's like what we've discussed before as well. It's about just, in a way, just doing the right thing, being a nice person, and then being accepted into the communities. In a way.
I think being a nice person is honestly, like, if I could tell anybody anything, it is truly just be nice to everybody, because everybody's got to come up and everyone's got to fall, and it's going to be the same people. Like, as you're coming up, like, you know, as you're rising, someone else might be falling, but it goes both ways, you know.
That's it.
In the same way of, like, you know, when Jared Mulcahy reached out to me and he's just like, hey, I want to DJ for you, and I was like, absolutely not. When I needed him, he could have been like, you know what, you were a fuckhead to me on the internet a year ago, and I don't want to help you. And then that would have ruined me for the night. You know, it wouldn't have done well. But, like, Jared and I laughed about it, and we're like, you know what, my bad. Let's, like, move forward. And, like, now Jared and I work together all the time.
That's it. And it's just quite funny. It's like the way he explained it. It's like he had the balls to be like that. Be like, never been to your event, but can I have a gig? Like,
yeah. And, like, in the same way, like, I know I had a lot of contestants from your shop reaching out to me and being like, how do I go about gigs? And I was like, okay, you need to think about what kind of DJ you want to be. Do you want to be a DJ or do you want to be an artist? Because to me, there are artists who choose a genre and they are like, that's what they do, that's what they're known for, and, like, they focus on that. They might produce, and that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, ball game. Yeah.
Then there's being a DJ, which is what I would say I am. And you can book me. I play R&B at Milky Lane, or I play pop music and gay pop at the Court. I just did a ton of EDM at Liquid Candy. I will play what you book me for, but I'm also booked a lot. So you've just got to make the choice. What do you care more about? Do you care more about the money and the bookings and playing a lot? Or are you really focused and you're like, no, I really want to be, like, for example, a drum and bass DJ, and I don't want to accept any bookings unless it's that. Then it's, you know, there's totally different roads to think about.
It's finding your lane almost, and what lanes you can be in as well at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you don't have to be just in one lane, but at the same time to try and cover everything. Yeah. Now, you can be an open format DJ like myself, but at the same time, I prefer to play at pubs and bars. Yeah. Rather than trying to go drum and bass nightclub, dubstep nightclub, and do bits and pieces. So, yeah. Which
I think it's great that, like, you can find your lane, because there are some DJs who do prefer to play, like, you know, background music or like
yeah.
just play at pubs and like just do that aspect of things. I know DJs who produce and are really successful DJs who make most of their money from playing background music, and they're like, why would I, like, they're like, unless it's doing like a big show and I'm like, you know, that aspect. He's like, this is what I do. He's like, I don't promote it, or like, you know, they don't promote it, but that's what pays the bills and that's what like gets them through.
Yeah. But it's the same thing as well, like say the Duff community, where the Duff community, you know, you don't get paid to DJ.
Yeah.
You know, some people do, but most of the time, 90% of the time, it's all for
like
free.
A love for the music.
But it's like, it's a whole nother ball game once
Yeah.
again, because it's not dubstep, it's not drum and bass, it's the bush Duff kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so that, you know, there is a whole community out there where you have these DJs that, you know, they all talk about it in between each other. Oh my God, he's so good, she's so good, this and that. But it's just like, it's outside of the city scene almost.
Do you know an amazing DJ that's like up and coming at the moment from your shot? Would be Lula La. She's like doing amazing. She's already played at
she played at Blossom as well.
She's about to do Oktoberfest.
Really?
And this is all from like, those are all different genres. She's done already done like stuff like Milky Lane and things like that.
Yeah,
she's killing it. And it's like she's finding and navigating her lane of what DJing is to her. She's like understanding like, okay, cool, I've just come out of your shot and I've like, you know, this is probably what I want to do, but then I understand, okay, cool, but maybe playing at bars on the weekends pays the bills, or that's also like learning DJing, or like, you know, expanding. I'm figuring it out. Do I like this or don't I like it? What genres do I really like vibe with? What don't I vibe with? And it's like incredible to see someone doing amazing like that, in the same way that DJ Liv did your shot also, and she is killing it in the emo scene. And it's like amazing to see that again, your shot can like teach you all these skills, and it can also like teach you, okay, cool, this is the lane that I want to go down. And she's booked quite a lot,
really,
for considering, I would say like emo music is pretty niche. She's doing really, really well. So it's just like amazing to see. But a lot of the like questions that I would get from the students were like, how do you get booked? And it's like, you need to figure out, first of all, that what kind of DJ do you want to be? Do you want to be a DJ? Do you want to be an artist? What road do you want to go down? And then you've got to figure, okay, cool, what venues do I want to play at? What promoters do I want to support? And then go and support their events. Then from there, introduce yourself. You know, you'll get to know, like you'll get to know people the more events you go to. It's pretty like, you always see the same faces at the same kind of stuff. And then it's just networking.
That's exactly it, yeah.
Support who you want to be with, or who you want to like play for. And you know, in the same way that like I love the Court Hotel, I'll always like support them. I'm so lucky that I work there, but I'm so thankful that I have a job there. And you know, I get to work for Drag Factory, for Fab Fridays, I get to do the Pride Festival, but I got that job from being like a loving patron for years. And you know, knowing the management team and them seeing, she really cares about this. This is like a community that she really cares about, that she gives back to. This is something that like she actually wants to be in. So that's how like I got that residency.
That's exactly it, yeah. You show that you're interested. You're like, as I said, dedication, all the other things. Yeah. And you want to be there. So it's doing the right things. How much time have we got left, Damo, by the way?
Technically, we're about 10 minutes over. We're about 10 minutes over, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh. Should we keep it going? Yeah.
I'm open to it.
Yeah, we'll keep going for another 10, 20 minutes. So yeah. How's Milky Lane? Is it all right? I haven't been there yet.
I haven't had the chance to actually eat there yet. I've DJed there a whole bunch. I do the rosters for Milky Lane. But yeah, it looks, the food looks amazing. I think if you're into that kind of like pub, like a gimmick food, then it is for you. It's always booked out, and you have to, like, you can't walk in. You have to make a reservation.
Really?
Yeah. Like, they don't take walk-in bookings.
It's all hip-hop and R&B vibes,
hip-hop,
right?
R&B, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So what other venues do you do the bookings at as well?
So I do for Planet.
Oh, you do bookings for Planet, really?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the bar manager's actually moving in with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Mitch Smith. Have you ever met him?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Then obviously Synagogue, Milky Lane. I do a ton of like random stuff all over. Then obviously when I do my own events, I've like taken a step back from doing events, and I'm just like focusing more so now on like bigger scale events or bigger scale things. So doing day parties and obviously like Starfies, which is almost like a festival in itself. So yeah, doing less but more at the same time.
Yeah, that's all right then. How do you find doing the bookings though? Because if you're doing the bookings for like, 2-3 venues, like, is it like every week? Do you do it a month in advance, 2 months in advance?
Oh, it really depends. Synagogue's like month in advance. It just depends really what the venue wants.
Yeah. So I can imagine there's a lot of communication back and forth. So.
Yeah. It really depends what the venue wants. Some venues are happy for like weekly, like others are like want like well and truly in advance. I think you've just got to like work with the venue and figure out kind of like what they want. Which is like, yeah, fine. Yeah. It's just working with people.
That's it, yeah. It's just the business side of it basically, yeah.
Yeah.
What other events are you planning on doing? Any other bigger events or anything at all?
So I had high day parties which launched during COVID. I think I did 2. I had another one lined up, and I had a DJ from the UK coming over.
Really?
And then they ended up doing some TV stuff. So I had one like locked in and everything, and then that didn't end up going ahead. And I'm now just trying to figure out where I really want to focus.
Yeah.
Like where I kind of really want Banks and Co to go. Like it started out by doing club nights and door girls and stuff like that, and now it's like evolving in itself, which is like great. And just really figuring out like what do I want to do with it. Do I want to maybe make Starfies even bigger than it is now, and do I want to dedicate more of my time into that rather than doing
how would you go about making it bigger than what it is? Because it's already in the biggest club in Perth basically.
Yeah. So. I mean, there's always things that you can do. Like Ben and I were talking today about where we really see it going in the next couple of years, what acts we really want to book for it. This is the first year that we've had an act for it, in terms of like Murray the Red Wiggle. So in itself, it's like still always developing, but you can always do things to make things bigger and better.
Yeah, of course.
Sell out faster. Like my dream would be, I think as every promoter's dream would be to put an event up and it sells out straight away and you don't need to worry. And okay, cool, this is how much money we've made. This is how much we can put into it.
Yeah.
Being that Starfies is for like giving back to the hospitality community, we really go gauge by, okay, cool. Like, and I mean, we've sold out every year. So where we know it's going to sell out.
Yeah.
Obviously the sooner it sells out, the like better for, my mental state. Ben's mental state is always fine. I've never met someone who can forever land on their feet and not have a worry in the world. But, the sooner we kind of figure that stuff out, then we're like, okay, cool, what exactly can we put into this and all that? So, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. I would love to make it as easy as possible.
How does it work with the budgeting as well? Because like, do you just go like, this year we're going to put X amount of dollars into it, and then like, we'll be able to go, okay, we can do this, we can do that. We can't do this year. Maybe we should, like, the discussions behind it almost like.
Ben and I really just go balls to the wall. We are
That's the way to do it though. Like.
Yeah. I actually had to get someone on board this year to kind of help with the budgeting.
Okay.
Because I am not a budgeter. And I'm very...
Well, it's hard to find someone who's a budgeter these days.
Yeah. I feel like the best person I've ever met in terms of budgeting would be like Ben Steele and how he runs OSnap. It is insane. And he's very good at that aspect. And like, his events always sell out. They always do really well. OSnap is like killing it. And I am not good at doing that. So, he's really kind of like showing me what he does for his events and like how he you know, start from finish how he goes about it, and we just think totally different. I think Ben and I together are like, I don't want to say children with adult money, but kind of like we just kind of like go throw money at everything. And we're like, let's have a party. Whereas, and we don't have, like, we don't care about how much money we make from it. We care about throwing a party.
Yeah, that everyone enjoys, that will want to come back again the year after.
Yeah. Whereas like now Ben Steele is really like, you can still have your party, but like, how about you think about where it all goes, and like, if you spend money here, do you need to spend it here, or like, can you save it here, and all that kind of stuff. And
see, that's the thing as well, is if you manage to save money and then you make money at the end of it, it's more money to go into the next one to make it bigger and better again.
Exactly. And I know the first few ones we really have gone crazy, and now this year with booking Murray, there are some other acts that we're still looking at, like whether or not we book. We're not 100% sure yet on that. But we just enjoy the party aspect of it so much. And we've definitely done things over the years that we like haven't, you know, that we might change or chop around and everything. I know the first year we had maids in all of the bathrooms with deodorant, with lip gloss, with like hand like sanitizers and stuff like that.
What, maids?
Maids. So we had like, we hired through a company, I'm pretty sure. Like, basically we had strippers dressed up as maids in all of the bathrooms, so that when you came in, like, you know, when you go to like in America and Europe, it's a really big thing that like you go into like high-end bathrooms and there's like an attendant there with like, you know, like not deodorant of like that stature, but they have like fragrances and things like that. So we wanted to like really make sure that it was something like that. The second year being with like COVID, I think we like scaled back on that, but it's like maybe that's something we bring back, or just working out what entertainment does everybody want and love. Is there one level of entertainment that people don't really care about and we can get rid of, or is there something that people are just like dying for and they really want to have it again? Like,
claws. Ow. But yeah, go on though, sorry.
Like, for example, with the court and Connie's sponsoring Amplifier, we make it Camplifier. It's like and this year's the first year that we've had connections on board, whereas usually it's just the court. So it's great to have both venues coming together. So it means we've got twice as many drag shows this year, which is great. And I think that that's what people want to see from that room. So, yeah, it's tough times figuring out what entertainment, what do people want, what do people care about, what people don't care about.
And so it can change over the years as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like what people are interested in. Like, you know, it's just like the birth of TikTok. And it's just like other social media platforms have kind of like moved on, but TikTok has just blown up.
Yeah.
But even though like TikTok is pretty bad in a way, like it's good, but like, do you know it's Chinese run company, right?
I don't know that much about TikTok.
Okay. So
I have TikTok, but
here's something for you, right? So are you ready, Damo? Okay. So with TikTok, right? Did you know that over in China, after about 9 p.m, 10 p.m, it locks you out if you're under the age, I think it's like 25.
No.
So that way you can't sit and scroll it and, you know, get bedazzled by it over, you know, during the night. In China and other Eastern countries as well, right? It will actually do things like it'll promote like family achievements, trying to do better with life, trying to actually like achieve, and like it's in a way it's actually like manipulating their society almost, right? Because, you know, it's the new greatest app and it's the new greatest thing out, right? But then with Western societies like us, America, England, all that sort of stuff, what they actually do is they try and flood it. I mean, obviously you can choose the categories that you want to look at, but they try and flood it with as much, I guess you could say, propaganda, but it's like the dances, the silly things, it's like the funny videos, this and that. Because then instead of like trying to promote achievement and trophies and try and do the right thing almost by the government standards, it's trying to just keep us not focusing on the bigger picture in a way.
Yeah.
So there's been heaps of things about it where it's literally like, you know, Western societies are trying to tackle it, being like, what can we do? It's already here, but we don't own it though. So how can we adjust and, you know, try and, because, you know, Facebook's doing reels now as well.
Yeah.
And so is Instagram. It's like the new update on Instagram. It's basically just like TikTok almost. But they're trying to combat it. But everyone's on TikTok. So it's like, because one thing I noticed as well is like, say with DJs and stuff around Perth, it's like that's the new thing you have to have, the new social media platform in a way, right?
Because
like,
yes and no.
Okay.
One person who actually kills it on TikTok is Namara.
Okay.
I can't remember how many TikTok followers he has. It's in the thousands, like in the tens of thousands, where he just talks about music, and it's great. Like the guys that did the Toxic mashup. It was like Toxic and Pony. I'm pretty sure they started from TikTok.
Yeah, okay.
I could be so wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where they're like, you know.
Yeah, their roots started
I
almost,
see. I know, if I'm wrong, apologies.
No, that's all right.
But I think it's great. And I think Brooklyn, I'm pretty sure it's Brooklyn who has over like 1 million TikTok followers. But I think it's just like people... Being a DJ is such an exciting and interesting world that people care about that. And whether you, like, as a DJ, you have the opportunity to market yourself every way possible versus not doing it at all. In the same way that Anna Paul has absolutely dominated the app and has created a totally different life for herself.
Anna Paul?
Anna Paul. So she would be, she's like the #1 TikTok creator, but she's also the #1 OnlyFans content creator.
Oh, wow,
and she changed her life around from doing daily TikToks. And it was like, this is my life today. This is what we are doing. But she's a sex worker. And she is also promoting like positivity towards sex workers. And she's like, hey guys, like I think she's 19 years old.
Wow.
And she takes her whole family around the world with her because she makes so much money from OnlyFans, but her fan base comes from TikTok.
Yeah,
and it's insane.
Yeah.
So I think it's great in the way that it can change people's lives, but just like anything, it needs dedication. In the same way that Brandon, not that long ago, was determined to figure out the TikTok algorithm and how can he get this many followers, like, and he worked it out. He's like, you post this many times a day, this is the stuff that you post, and it's like, it's just figuring it out and being consistent. In the same way that people say being an influencer is really easy. Okay, well, get yourself to that influencer level then.
That's
if it's
exactly
so easy, post every day, you get the right content, you know, content create. Like it's a lot of work that goes into it. And like, I know like with TikTok, I go through phases, and it generally is a reflection of my mental health and how good I feel about posting that day. Do I feel like, you know, sharing my day, or do I feel like, you know, crying in a hole and not getting out of bed?
But here's an interesting question for you then. So like with the way social media and like marketing and everything is these days, with just like how media is, right? Do you find it sometimes superficial at all? Where it's like, because like, you know, the way people actually post things, and it's like, it's the highlights, it's the best part of their holiday or whatever, like, you know, things happen, but it's not the truth in a way.
I think that aspect of influencing is actually changing. I know like when you do promoting for events now, a lot of times you'll actually ask for micro influencers. So they're
influencers, okay.
So they would be like influencers who have like under 10,000 following or like under 5,000 following versus someone who might have 100K following, because their audience is more authentic, versus someone who has over 100K following. You'll probably have like more of an aesthetically pleasing life and, you know, that kind of stuff. But in saying that, I feel like that's where Anna Paul has done really well, because she talks about her highs, her lows, and I think I feel like that's why I've done well in social media, because my life is not a highlight reel.
Yeah.
I will post what I mean, the downs and the lows and
the real side of it in a way. Yeah. But that's what I mean though, where it's like, you know, I don't know why Instagram does it, but if I press the search bar, it just comes up with just girls, right? And they're all dancing and doing this and doing that.
Generally like a reflection on what you're looking at.
Yeah, okay, right. But it's one of those things where it's like, when I look through it, it's like, this is not real life. This is like, you know, this is my opinion though, where it's like, this is not real life. This is not their normal daily thing of what they're doing. It's like, it's superficial to the point where it's constructed to gain viewers, to gain, you know, likes and follows and the whole lot. But then do you find sometimes that it's like you almost get sucked into this, like, you know, when you're sitting on social media and you're scrolling, and it's like it's not brainwashing, right? But it's almost just like, it's just, what's the word for it, where it's like conditioning, encouraging to follow suit. Because, you know, like, say when I talk to some, you know, mates and stuff like that, it's like, why would you line up at the front of the new Apple store to get a new iPhone when there are other phones out there that may be better than the iPhone or do the same thing? Or a phone is a phone. Do you need the new one? Or, like, you know, buying a new flash sports car, or doing this, or buying Nike shoes, because, like, you know, it's crazy how much marketing really comes into play. Are you good with cats?
I hate them.
No, really?
To be honest.
Oh, you hate cats. Sass.
I'm not a cat gal, but
No. But, like,
I like dogs though.
Okay. But he's basically a dog. But because it's crazy how the world we live in, it's like you drive down a street, right, and you'll see the bus advertising. It's always alcohol. It's like, it's never usually anything else. It's always alcohol. But it's the way how, like, today's society has been changed and manipulated by huge companies with money to be able to kind of, like, you need this, you need that, you know, to fit in, you need to buy $400 shoes, that, you know, Yeezys kind of thing. But then it's like, you know, like, how do you feel about?
I think
like,
I think that level of influencing is really dying down, and I think I think everybody kind of cottoned on to that's not real.
Yeah.
But for some people it is real.
Yeah.
One of my friends, Jordan K, he is an influencer, and I think he's at like 100K following, and he works at Louis Vuitton. He buys, you know, high-end brands, but also, that's genuinely his life. Like,
and if he
has
posts,
a really,
right,
he
gets
goes to
paid.
events all the time. Yeah, he that's how he makes his, you know, money. And like, he is like one of those rare people where that's actually real life for him. Whereas, like, you know, there are other people that I follow or other influencers that I'm friends with where that's not their life, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I know I posted recently, I was just like, oh, I really want to buy the new Balenciaga cap and jumper because Sofa Dofa posted it and I really want it. Like, do I do it? And my whole following was like, yes, buy it. And my friend messaged me and they were like, you fucking idiot, what are you doing? And I was just like, for one, my engagement is now up, but two, like, I'm not actually gonna buy this because this is still out of my, like, I'm not at the level where I'm buying Balenciaga. I know when I bought
Balenciaga, is that just a high-end brand?
Yeah.
Or? Okay, yeah.
I remember when I bought my car, and like, I like have like a relatively like nice new like sunroof car, but I was talking
don't want to say the brand. Yeah.
My I was talking to my friend who has a Range Rover, and I was saying, you know, this is really, like, it's not fair. You've got a Range Rover. Our other friend just bought a BMW. Our other friend has a Mercedes. Like, I want this car. And she was like, Kayty, like, you need to understand that, like, if you want those things, that's great, but you need to work for them, and everyone's in different financial positions. Like, that's not real life.
Oh, the cat.
No. I'm saying that's a good way to end this.
Oh.
I need to end this.
Well, you need to go home?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
but it's an interesting discussion, right? Because it's so crazy the world we live in. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, that was like, it was there, but it's not in our face as it is today.
I think the best thing that anybody could do is like live within your means.
Yeah.
Like, there's like a saying, like, why buy, like, I'd rather have, I can't remember exactly what the saying is, but it's something like, why have a $5,000 bag with nothing in it when you could have a $20 bag and have it full?
Yeah.
And it's like,
that's a very good saying, yeah.
There's another really good one that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'll remember it and I'll put it on my Instagram. But it's like, I just don't see the point in like living that way. And I think like people are cottoning on to that's not normal life. Not everybody has Range Rovers. Not everybody lives this luxurious life. We also live in Perth, WA. Like, you know,
yeah, not in LA in a mansion. Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You are right. Yeah. You know, we've got to wrap things up because we're probably like 2 hours now. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Wait. How come you don't like cats? You're a dog.
I am a dog gal.
Yeah, so thank you for coming on, though.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a good discussion, and it's been really good because I've been a bit worried sometimes. It's like I want to get a guest on again, but then it's like, what are we going to talk about? And like we filled the time easily, right? There's so many different topics, so many things that you're doing, and whereabouts can people find you at the moment?
So Wednesday nights, I'm generally at Drag Factory at the Court Hotel. Friday nights, I am back at the Court Hotel for Fab Fridays, Magnet House on Saturdays, and Sundays I'm at the Old Synagogue. Those are my like die-hard residencies. I still pop up at other places, so like Oktoberfest, Perth and Sydney coming up. The Court Pride Street Festival. I'll be back at the Rowie very soon, and I can't wait for that. But then also Starfies.
And so what date is Starfies again?
Monday the 31st of October. So it's Halloween. So Halloween themed. Come dressed up. There is not one person in hospitality who would not like thoroughly enjoy themselves.
And any discount codes as well that you could shout out to? Or
8 Mile. So 8 Mile, get $20 off. 8
Mile. Just the number 8 and Mile? Okay. That's not bad. $20 off. So $40 ticket. That's pretty good. Wait, is it $40 or?
I think they're currently at 60, so it would come down to $40.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's not bad. So yeah. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And cheers, Damo, for doing an amazing job. And so this is the second last episode before season 2 wraps up. And you're definitely signing the board this time. Yeah, I'll
definitely sign it.
Because like we were talking about this earlier, but it's like we had 3 bottles of wine for the first episode. So I was pretty tipsy. You were pretty tipsy. We're all very tipsy. So
I think I saw Shan said that he didn't sign it either.
So that's the thing. He did. It's just
Is this the season 2?
That's season 1.
Oh, I was like, this is Povo.
Yeah, that's the first board we ever had.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, okay. I know, right?
So this is the one that I'm signing.
Yeah.
This is so funny, the difference.
Yeah, I know. Wait,
can we hold this up?
Yeah, if you want.
This is so wild.
So that's when we first started it, and we didn't know if things are...
Push this out.
Right, Damo, put the camera directly on it.
Piece of shit cardboard.
Yeah.
This is so funny.
Yeah, and I cut it out.
Gosh, I don't know how to I don't know how to show that one.
Oh wait, Damo, can you swap it over?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
That one's so much cooler.
Yeah. Well, see, it was literally no, it's all right. Well, it's because like we did like the first 30 episodes, and we're like, we're gonna keep doing this. Are we? Yeah. What's happening? Like this and that.
Oh my gosh, where's the pen? I'll sign it now.
Will we do it live?
Yeah, we'll do it live. We'll do it live.
Good spot right in the middle.
Oh. All right. Camera on.
I don't actually know if I've ever written Kayty Banks.
Really?
Yeah.
And spell.
Oh my gosh, what am I write? Oh my gosh. Okay. Do I go on the R? That's probably the like not big enough to reach there. Oh my gosh.
And so it's episode 135. And the date today is the 28th.
Oh, do I have to put the date?
Yes, please. And also the episode number.
Hang on. What was the episode number?
135.
Oh my gosh, my favourite number is 13. Okay, and then what else was I writing?
The date. So the 28th of the 8th, 22.
28th of the 8th, 22.
Yeah. That's the date, right? Yeah, that's the date. Well, there you go. Episode 135.
Thank you for having me, guys. Put a filter on me to make me look cuter on camera.
All right. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. where we have Henry Boyles coming on. And so Henry Boyles, he is the manager of Nest FM. Have you ever heard of that? So Nest FM promotes the whole LGBTQI plus community.
Amazing. Okay.
And so he throws events at the Bird, and he throws underground raves as well, and art installations as well. And so it's
amazing.
It's very interesting because he went to Berlin a couple of months ago, right? And before he went to Berlin, he was supposed to come on the podcast, but our computer died. So we had to fix it. So he came all this way out and couldn't make it work right. Whilst he was over there, he actually got monkeypox. And so whilst he had monkeypox, he's coming on tomorrow to tell his story of what it was like. He got interviewed by the ABC and all sorts of stuff.
That is wild.
Yep. And he was stuck over there for like an extra 30 days on his trip or something like that.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to dive into that to see how it was and what it was like. Plus also all the events he's throwing at the Bird and everything else that's coming up. So it should be very, very cool. So
excited.
All right, Damo. We'll wrap it up. So this is the second last episode of season 2. But thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right. Gotcha. You can do it now, Damo. Yeah. All right. Mike's up.